Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Deepwater Horizon. We've had a major explosion. We need assistance immediately. I repeat, we've had a mass casualty explosion. We need assistance immediately.
Motors rev up, blow up, and then we had like two explosions back to back.
I had the pleasure of interviewing Vincent Tabler, a service supervisor on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig when it exploded in April of 2010, killing 11 crew members and leaving 17 injured.
See, BP leases the rig. They contract the rig that Transocean owns. So Transocean will provide a certain amount of skills. And then outside of those skills is where we come in. We're a service company. We provide one Pacific service. At 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock that morning, we test the case. And normally we would do a negative test. We didn't do the negative test. The rig did the negative test. The negative test is when you're going to leave the well and you're going to leave it to, because the water depth's 5,000 foot. So in order to leave the well, pull the BOPs, you have to have an integrity of your well, same as the seafloor. Normally they would have us with the cement unit do the negative test. But they didn't. They used the rig.
A negative pressure test is considered the last critical step before a drill rig places a final cement plug, pulls up its blowout preventer, and moves on. This has to be done to determine whether cement at the bottom of the well is holding back oil and gas.
I was in my stateroom when it all happened, down in the living quarters. Heard the motors rev up, blow up, and then we had like two explosions back to back. One of the motors blew up, which entailed blew the rig up. As there was natural gas coming in to where the motors were. Out of the 11 that were killed, I knew 7 of them. The thing is, you work 14 days with these people, so you get to know everybody. The OIM, senior tool pushers, the driller, and then the company man. Those are your lead guys, and they're the ones that make everything happen. There's a scheduled steps the way things go.
And they didn't get that right.
They got it right. There was some miscommunication and some shortcuts on BP's part and Transocean's part that led up to this.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, would you agree with the U.S. District Court judge that the disaster was primarily BP's fault for their negligence and reckless conduct?
Yes, and Transocean.
It didn't make you fearful of like the possibility of it happening again?
No, well, you got it in the back of your mind, but if you realize it's something that we try very hard not to happen.
Right.
So no, I wouldn't, like I said, you keep it in the back of your mind, and then you start, it does make you aware of what's going on.
Right.
A lot more than what shortcuts they're trying to take.
Well, do you think that after it happened that people, or like, of course, BP and rigs take it more seriously to make sure that those things don't happen again?
Oh, yes. There were a lot of mandates that were put on the companies. Now there's more eyes on the project than there were before to make sure something like this doesn't ever happen. More checks and balances than there used to be.